Well, renewable energy got a bad rap in last year's winter storm, criticized by Governor Abbott and others, but it may be saving us this summer. Good morning to Texas Monthly senior editor Dan Solomon. So solar and wind, you're saying, have not yet reached their full potential in Texas.
Yeah, I think that's accurate. They don't make up as much of they make up a pretty small amount of the grid. So there's definitely more capacity for them to deliver for us.
Your story says that wind, and even more so than solar, might be what is saving us this summer. And we're looking at today, another one of those days when those two lines are uncomfortably close between demand and supply.
Yeah, so renewables make up a pretty small percentage of the Texas energy portfolio, but it's been, especially solar this summer, very reliable, which matters a lot when we're on the verge of running out of power.
Texas is very focused on supporting the oil and gas industry. I mean, that's just always been the Texas story, is we're about oil and gas revenue. Is that holding back the expansion of renewable energy in this state or not?
Well, I think it's pretty complicated. I think that we could definitely have a lot more renewable energy. We have a lot of wind. Wind and solar don't perform together. So if it's really, I mean, you can kind of see it if you go outside. If it's really hot and sunny and the middle of the day, then you're probably wishing there was a breeze, but there might not be one. Mm-hmm. If it's cloudy and gray, then the wind probably is blowing. So wind and solar don't do the same job. They kind of do alternate jobs. If one is low, then the other is high. So we have a fair bit of wind on the grid, and we could add a lot more solar, and that would enhance reliability kind of for both.
But the people who are building wind and solar are continuing to do so anyway, even without the attaboys from the people down in Austin.
That's right. Yeah, we could, we've added, I think we've almost tripled our capacity for solar over the past 18 months and maybe doubled it from a year ago. So we're definitely adding a lot right there. We could add more. If we had a statewide push to do it, it would have a pretty big impact.
Yeah, we got plenty of room out there in West Texas to put up pretty much anything you want. One issue is that I think one of your experts said that West Texas could be the Saudi Arabia of renewable energy. We're not doing quite as well actually building power lines to get the energy to where it's needed, the big urban areas.
That's true. We've got a pretty good capacity right now that was developed under, I think, Rick Perry to bring wind power from West Texas. If we decided that we wanted to really invest in adding more capacity for renewable energy from West Texas to the grid, we would want to increase the transmission capacity as well.
Was the ding by Governor Abbott during the big winter storm in February of 2021, was that fair? He said that, we would have been in better shape if we had all the gas-fired power plants running?
Well, during the winter storm, we would have been in better shape if the gas power plants had been running. They weren't running. They froze, which was a big part of the problem. So I think that if thermal energy sources produced as expected reliably, then the grid would, there are other reasons you might want to be on renewables, but the grid reliability wouldn't be a factor or as much of a factor.
Yeah.
But they don't. Even last week, we saw kind of a similar issue where there was less thermal energy than expected on the grid. So yeah, if those things worked exactly as well as we wanted them to, then you could make an argument that you didn't need renewables. I think there are other good reasons to have renewables on the grid. But yeah, if they worked well, then they would work well.
Right, and as you point out, they're saving our bacon this summer as we're cooking like bacon. You can read Dan Solomon's story in this month's Texas Monthly, and a link to his reporting on fox4news.com. Dan, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.